Take after take, back for another week. Producer Pat on the ones and twos. This man just continues to keep adding cords, keys, and cameras to this whole situation here.
We got our whole little setup.
I'm not mad at all any of it because I didn't have to do none of it. So shout out to you. Also, tell the people at home what time I should have been here today.
You did show up at 3 o'clock on the actually 2:58.
Give a brother some credit. 2:58, not 3 o'clock.
I was actually not ready. I was not ready.
Explain yourself.
Well, do you see all this equipment? I wish I could pan the cameras to show. We got 2 cameras going on. We have the podcast recording equipment. Have a live switcher here, switching back and forth.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is impressive. So I will let that pass. I just want me to bask in my own glory of being here at 2:58 on a Wednesday as we will produce this and show this live on our podcast on Thursday mornings on Apple and Spotify, where you can find your podcasts available to you.
And on the app.
Shout out to the app. Yeah, 48 Sports Zone app. Listen, we love technology. Apps are everywhere. We know you got 7,622 of these in your phone and in your life. Just add one more for us. Help your boys out. Take after take on our 48 Sports Zone app. It is available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And of course, our podcasts are available each and every week on Thursdays where podcasts are available. Like and subscribe. Send us a few comments. I bet you'll send some comments after what we're going to talk about today. Listen, we could start with the NFL draft, which was riveting, amazing television. The Tennessee Titans starting to slowly but surely rebuild their roster within their franchise. We could talk about the NBA playoffs. We could talk about all this stuff. We ain't talking about nothing but one thing, because I'm passionate about this. I don't know who decided to do this. I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and everybody across the country is all on it. 100 men, one gorilla. Not just any gorilla. Silverback gorilla. See, I won't put my spin on this whole situation because, first of all these cameras, all this, for everyone listening at home, and we'll have these as shorts on Instagram and all of your social media platforms. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? I want y'all to just take a step back. I know we get excited. Social media, the news cycle is up to date by the second. 100 men versus one silverback gorilla. And there are some people in this world, including one crazy person over here with this Tennessee Titans outfit on, that believes that 100 men would defeat a silverback gorilla. Before you continue, I'm just going to lay this out. I don't care how big, how strong, how physical, how aggressive those 100 men are. I want the healthiest, most strongest, 6'5", 500-pound, silverback healthy gorilla against those 100 men. Y'all gonna have those 100 men. I'll let you start before I go into this absolute heater of a diatribe.
Listen, I think we have lost the plot when it comes to this debate here.
I'm gonna stop you right there. This is all I need to know. He believes all 100 of the men gonna die too.
No.
There was no emphatic anything.
I do not.
All of them gonna die.
They're not gonna die.
Go ahead.
So,
oh my gosh,
sheer numbers, the 100 men are going to take down a gorilla.
How?
What are you talking about? How? The fact that you and I are even here doing this podcast, that all our ancestors from back in the day in Neolithic times taking down saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths, that's proof positive.
How they take them down?
With spears and things like that.
Any of these men going to have spears?
Well, I don't know. See, we don't know what the rules of this thing are.
I'm going to lay the rules out.
Okay, lay the rules.
I'm going to lay the rules out. That gorilla, this ain't Caesar from Planet of the Apes and his homeboys out there that's got riding on horseback and can talk higher and way smarter than yours truly and Patrick and half the world. No. We ain't doing that. The gorilla, you know what he got? Me, myself, and I. You know what those 100 men got? Me, myself, and I. Right club, left club, fist sandwiches. That's all you coming in there with. Also, you 100 men, biggest, strongest, MMA, all of our amazing men in service across the country, whomever you want. I want those 100 men in the gorilla's environment. I want them to go all in there at one time. I want the door to close. And I want this is just not a gorilla that there are videos of gorillas running away from geese. I don't want that. I want the gorilla that wants that work and wants that action.
Well, you don't get to pick. That's the thing. You don't get to pick.
You are asking me you are saying 100 men.
Yes.
Best and brightest. Brawn, physical, unbelievable. You think I want a gorilla just going to stand there and just be like a runaway?
No, but gorillas are peaceful by nature. They're not aggressive animals. They're also not predators in any kind of sense. They are herbivores. They eat plants and bugs. They're only territorial when you come into their territory. Now, granted, in this hypothetical scenario, we as humans will be coming into their territory. Here's the thing. It's only going to take about 30 men to take down this gorilla barehanded. 30 men. That's all you need. Science will tell you that. You attack in waves. Now, caveat.
See, listen.
There's a caveat.
We had caveat too. He started off stumbling, fumbling, mumbling because he knows this is crazy in the first part. And then the second part, what's the caveat?
The caveat is about the first 5 or 7 are going to die. That will just happen. Now, it could be a situation where after the 5 get, their face smashed in or maybe an arm broken, something like that the rest of the 95 or so men would not want to fight anymore. However, if we are just saying that these 100 men have to take down this gorilla to either save the world, whatever kind of crazy scenario you want to have, we will do it as human beings. Everybody is discrediting human beings and how incredible we are.
First thing I want to say for all of our amazing animal lovers like yours truly, Patrick, we love animals. We're not trying to condone any kind of violence. This is all potential hypothetical. We don't want PETA and everybody to be after us being mad. We don't want that.
This is what happens when there's no football.
You ain't lying. But I used to do these when I was like young. I still do them now. I'm not even gonna lie. What could win in a battle?
I was about to say, we are literally doing that right now.
We're doing this right now, and I'm all for it. I'm here for all this smoke. First of all, you want 100 men to go take down as you mentioned, herbivore, plane eater. I want the gorilla that is pissed off at the world.
It will be, but it will only be that way for roughly maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It will get exhausted. It's a 400-pound animal. It can't sustain that level of ferocity for that long. Human beings will just wear it down. That's how we've beaten all predators throughout the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those ancestors stuff you talking about when they had them spears and they had them sharp objects, stuff like it. Here's the thing. Once again, I need my gorilla that we've seen on videos and on shorts. I want those gorillas. I want that gorilla silverback. I don't no normal gorilla. I want the silverback. 6'5", 500 pounds. Folks, do you all realize that a gorilla can lift? Internet told me this. I don't know if this is true or not. Internet told me gorilla could bench press 4,800 pounds on a dumbbell bar.
It is about 10 times as strong as a human being.
Also said, can pick up and throw feet away 1,800 pounds of something.
That is correct. It also has a 1,300-pound PSI with its bite in its jaw.
Have you looked at the bone density of those silverback gorillas?
Yes.
Tell a few people about these.
Very hard to puncture. The bone density is what gives them the strength as well. So it's going to be very tough to puncture the skin.
Everybody at home, y'all see this arm? This arm can do this, right? We can do this. We can do this. You know what their arms can do? They can have this part go the other way. Am I making it up, Patrick? When you see a gorilla standing up, do you see that? Do you see the elbows like we normally stand? These cats' elbows is all. Do y'all realize? Forget double jointed. Y'all mean to tell me I want 20 of the first 20 men to run and jump on this gorilla. Do y'all realize the torque and how quickly he would be able to swipe? So the main reason of what we're talking about as far as wearing the gorilla down, the quick nature and the quick twitch of the gorilla swiping all of those guys off of him and jumping on 4 or 5 of them and busting their skulls in half, or grabbing their head and removing said head from spinal cavity and ripping it off of your body.
Well, that's why I said the first wave is probably not going to last. So you need 5 good men, okay? We've seen movies like this. Okay. Armageddon. They had to go up there, right? They're not going to make it back.
What about those next 15 when they see when they see blood on the dance floor? When they see that blood on the dance floor.
That's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough.
That's gonna be rough for him.
In his environment.
Yeah,
in that environment.
Yeah, in a jungle where you take down the mobility of the jungle.
You think that 100 men gonna be able to chase this gorilla down, climb trees, hop up in them trees? That gorilla can always continue to replenish himself after he done knocked out 15, 20.
So you're saying that this thing is going to last? This battle's lasting days. That the gorilla's going to go up and get rest.
Who gonna catch him? Who gonna catch the gorilla once if this erase the first 20 and runs away? Do y'all realize how fast gorillas can move?
They move about 20, 25 miles an hour. But here's the thing. Again, no endurance. They're not stamina animals. We will chase them down and wear it out.
Are you going to chase said gorilla that's up? You think a man is just going to keep... And how about this? After said gorilla, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, breaking news. You know, we got these movies, Planet of the Apes. They've been doing these since the 60s or whatever. Look.
The new ones are fantastic, by the way.
I've never watched one of them in my
Oh,
life.
the new ones are great.
I don't know if y'all noticed or not. Primates are pretty intelligent. Don't know if y'all noticed or not. Have a hard time believing said silverback that completely sees 100 men just come into his habitat, flips out, sees 100 men run and 20 of them run and try to jump on said animal. He destroys those said people and says, oh, y'all don't come in peace. Y'all want some of this action? Fantastic. We about that action. Let's go get some of this. And they start chasing the people.
Can we pick the people? Do we get to pick? Or
You pick whoever you want in the world.
Oh, well, then we win. If we can pick, we win. Absolutely.
I'm going to preface what I'm saying again.
100 Carl Prathers would kill a silverback gorilla. Now, 20 of you might die. 20 of you are probably not going to make it. And probably another maybe 30 are probably going to get messed up, broken bones, that kind of thing like that. 100 Carl Prathers, though, would take down a gorilla. I promise you. It's just science. It's science.
I don't care who it is. I don't care what human beings that are of the male species get inside that habitat. I once again want you pick whoever you want. I don't care who it is. All I want in this whole scenario is said 100 men to go into basically like silverback gorilla zoo habitat. Like if those know what them zoos are like, I want them to go into that habitat. Y'all sitting there. The gorilla has to survive, or y'all got to survive. And I want, once again, I don't want just any gorilla. I don't want a silverback gorilla that's running away. I want this silverback gorilla. I want you all to go look on YouTube or social media. There was a little girl at a zoo. There was 2 silverback gorillas. You've seen it. I know you've seen it. There was a silverback gorilla close to the thick glass at the zoo. The little girl is beating her chest. The gorilla from the farther away from the other gorilla takes 4 steps, jumps, does not hit the glass with his full might, and it cracks the glass.
Well, that's why I'm saying the first 5 are probably not going to make it.
You think the first 5 is the only ones that's going to make it?
Yeah, I think about the first 5 to 7.
The first 5?
Yeah. The first 5 get hit in that wave, and they're going to get steamrolled, and then the other ones are going to take control.
Do you realize how quick, let's just say for the sake of argument, there's 20 men, and the 20 men are in front of this gorilla, and the gorilla runs and just jumps in the air and just lands on. You think some other men are going to be able to have enough quickness to be able to hold that gorilla down, or do you believe that gorilla is going to be able to slip out of that and get out of that?
No, I think probably 20 dudes could hold a gorilla down. I think about the weight of 50 men would probably crush a gorilla.
All I need to know, get your calculator out. We're going to do this together.
The calculator?
Yeah,
Okay.
get the calculator out. You get the opportunity to choose the 100 men, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like your average weight and height to be for all men?
Oh, if I'm picking, I want over 6'2" and around 240.
Do 240 times 10.
240 times 10 equals 2,400 pounds.
If this gorilla can lift 4,800 pounds and in a full movement, he can throw 1,800 pounds, grab and throw feet. He didn't just say just grab. Throw 1,800 feet in the air. In what world do you think that 20 of those guys are going to be able to be quick enough to jump on said gorilla, around his neck, grab on up? Do you realize what this gorilla is going to, with people on him, run away, grab guys, and rip their arms out of their sockets?
Even if he takes down 20, there's 80 guys left. It's 100.
Correct. And that's my point. All I want to go to is you're in this gorilla's environment. That gorilla is going to run away, go into other areas of said sanctuary, wherever this is at, catch said breath, relax himself, start becoming even more panicked, and continue to attack. There is no chance in the world that a full-fledged savage of a silverback gorilla would ever lose. You start getting into the 500, 400.
Oh, now that's ridiculous. 500 men would absolutely.
Correct. But 100?
100 would take it down.
No chance.
You would need about 30. You need about 30 with about 5 good men that are willing to sacrifice for the mission.
You think it's only going to be 5 initially out of the 20?
It's 5 that for sure are dead. Now, there could be more casualties. Maybe 5 or 6 more than that. Maybe all even 30 are getting injured, but we're taking it down.
Have we ever thought about this? Have we thought about just the sheer might of said gorilla saying, take it down, that all 100 of these men that are not dead on arrival, arms broken, necks broken, heaven forbid, immobile, they're done. There's nothing else they can possibly do. They have no weapons. So said silverback could legitimately just come and swipe 8 times. Hop, hop, swipe, swipe. Legs broken, arms broken, clavicles, chest caved in, face, eyes ripped out, bleeding profusely. You think in your right mind that those 100 men, no one thinks about that. Everyone keeps thinking about taking him down. Well, what happens when 20 men are on him and he does this, and the sheer might of him just swiping you away breaks your shoulder in half?
Well, yeah, I said some guys are going to get messed up. Some guys are going to get messed up.
How about all 100? How about 100?
No, we're taking it down. And here's the thing. Here's a dirty little secret. If the humans can somehow make spears out in the wild, it's only going to take about 5. 5 men with spears are killing a gorilla.
100%. When you involve weapons, you got me. That's not the rules. Right ham hock, left ham hock. Ham hock sandwich. That's the only weapons. You really don't have anything. Could you imagine if a gorilla had a freaking machete?
Well, yeah, that's the Planet of the Apes movies that you haven't seen. That's what happens. They get AKs and then they kill everybody.
Let me ask you a question. If a gorilla had said spear or a weapon in his hand, it could use that against the other people that had weapons, who gonna win?
I mean, I think if we were doing a scouting combine of the throwing power of a gorilla, I would imagine it's pretty high. It's Josh Allen times probably 100.
I watched a video. I'm fascinated about this whole discussion.
You are really into this topic.
I'm in it.
We've now gone 18 minutes.
Yes, because I am tripping that people think in their right mind that 100 of your best and brightest, strongest, whatever you may, can get inside of an area with
What
a gorilla.
about 100 Mark Henrys circa 1997? They're not taking down a gorilla?
No.
100 Mark Henrys from Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry from 97.
How are they going to get out of the way of the gorilla?
Mark Henry's almost 400 pounds.
How are they going to get out of the way of the gorilla?
But there's 100 of them.
What are you going to do? Once gorilla separates neck from head, arms from body, torso from legs, and starts playing it starts juggling like a hacky sack with the kneecaps and stuff, the Mark Henrys can't move. They can't move. They're done. So they're just laying there, bleeding out. They dead. What we doing? In what world do you think this is how?
Listen, ChatGPT, somebody asked it. Newsweek had an article.
We need to talk to the zoologist.
ChatGPT said that 100 men would take down a gorilla. So, and that's AI. It's never wrong about anything. That's our future overlords, AI, Terminator.
Because they look at the gorilla that's a little older, very docile, as they normally are traditionally. But you know what? You know the amazing thing about human beings relative to gorillas and primates? There's a lot of nice people out in the world, right? There's some absolute stone cold savages out here that want some of that action. I want the silverback gorilla that wants the action. I want the 100 men to come in there, and that gorilla sitting like this. It stands up, and he's Giannis out of the coop, and he comes out there and is smashing faces in. I want that because I already know that. I know what human nature is going to do. Human nature is going to see those first 15 get disintegrated into the ether, and then they're going to be like, "Nah, we don't want this."
So what is your strategy? Say in this hypothetical situation, there's a Hunger Games type scenario where I don't know if you've seen Hunger Games, but you're picked out at random and you have to fight. And let's say they come down here to Alabama and they say, Carl Prather, you are the Alabama representative, one of two, much like a senator, to fight this gorilla. What's your strategy going forward?
Kiss my lovely wife. Kiss my lovely son. Say I love y'all. Life insurance paid up. We cool. Y'all go spend something, make yourself useful. Spend some of it. I ain't coming back. It's over. I ain't coming back.
But what's your strategy when you get in there? What do you do? Can't just roll over.
There's 99 others that's gonna come with me.
There's 99 others.
I'm gonna get all those 99. Let them 99 go ahead and take care of themselves and go ahead and be dead and land up. And then I'm gonna try to figure out. I want to become one with the silverback, so I can get up out of there.
Okay.
Ain't no choice. Ain't. We all did. You go.
All right.
Why we doing this? Why we doing this, man?
Because I just refuse to believe it. I believe in humans is the 30 guys. 30 guys will do it. Especially if I get to pick them. If I can pick them, it's 30.
Let's go a step further. You think if I just put 30 men in a habitat with a silverback gorilla that they would take down the gorilla? 30 men. Just 30 men.
I think it would depend on the type of 30 men.
You can pick whoever you want.
Oh, well then, yes. I said if I'm picking, then we're taking it down.
Do you realize how quickly this would be over with 30 men?
I think you are overestimating the cardiovascular endurance of a 400, 500 pound animal.
No, I'm not, because you're right. Everything the Chat GPT and the world has told me about full-fledged, healthy, aggressive silverback gorillas. Start the buzzer. In 2 minutes, 15 of those guys are already gone. Gorilla's gonna run away. Feel threatened. Be like, what is going on? Get himself back together.
Oh, this is like he's got like a corner man. Like this is a boxing.
He's the corner man.
He's the corner
man.
Go
up in that tree. Go into that corner. Guess what? I bet you them 100 men ain't finna go into that cave habitat. I bet you ain't going up in there. Can they see this hole? Can they see this? Can we see?
They can't see everything. They can't see nothing. You got to describe it.
I tell you what. I even go a step further. Just even help the 100 men out. Put as many men as you possibly can in here, and let me open the door and put that silverback gorilla up in there. I want to see. Since let's put all of this in this room. How long you think this lasts?
In this small room, we definitely have a shot. Somebody's going to do 09 Jeff Hardy off this table right here and just swanton the gorilla right on top of the head.
Until gorilla grabs face and starts doing nunchucks with the body. Michelangelo style, like Ninja Turtles, and throws her against the wall, breaks the glass. Because the gorilla's going to be able to come through the glass. Like, he going to break through that. Once again, I saw a full-fledged gorilla. I saw a gorilla take. Have y'all seen how fast gorillas can move in a short amount of time?
They're fast.
And how they can get in and get out. Take care of what they need to take care of it. I saw overseas, they have obviously these amazing habitats for these amazing animals, right? So, people can go and visit and go up into Uganda and stuff and get into the vegetation and all that stuff. I saw a 200 plus pound man that was a tour guide. Y'all can find it. The gorilla just walked by him. In the corner of his eye, grabbed said guy in a casual walk, grabbed him by the bottom of his pants, and just walked like he was like whistling down the street, just no big deal, and drug him for about 4 minutes. Not 4 minutes, for about less than 3 feet. The sheer terror in that man's face, like, this is sayonara. I'm out of here. And the way that the gorilla just casually just let him go. I can not only imagine just for 5 minutes of pure rage from a 6'5", 500+ gorilla, that arms can move, the elasticity of the exoskeleton, how they can move and maneuver. There is no chance that this could ever happen. And yeah, I know we just spent this whole podcast for about 30 minutes talking about this. I don't care, because this is very important. This is a very important situation that I need to, no, folks, just for me. You can't do nothing else in the world for me. Just do this. Don't believe that. Don't believe Patrick. He crazy. He don't know what the heck he talking about.
There's a lot of people on the human side.
Who?
There's a lot of like scientific experts. I've been reading about this. Like I said, ChatGPT, they know everything. They're pulling all human knowledge.
I vow before the end of this summer, I'm going to find a zoologist that's going to get on this show with us, and we're going to talk about this.
Well, Mr. Beast might do it for real. He said he's willing to put some prize money on the line, 100 men versus a gorilla.
He said what?
Well, yeah, Mr. Beast. You know, the YouTube guy?
Mr. Beast said he trying to do this for real?
He said he would. Now, I think that there are a lot of laws and regulations against that, something like that. I don't think that'd be the type of entertainment people would actually want to see.
I don't want to see
it. But he's willing to, he said he's willing to do it.
Quick work. I give it,
You're saying that's a short season? That's a 5-minute episode?
You'll see more commercials in that YouTube than you'll see of content. And nobody wants to see that.
Maybe you're right.
Well, I could talk about this.
We have to move on. We have other things we have to talk about, including, since we're already here with all the pop culture stuff. Yeah, I was about to say, I know where you're going. Do you want to just talk about Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
Yeah, let's talk about Bill. For those that may or may not have watched the CBS Sunday, I hadn't watched it. I told Patrick initially. I saw a 15-second to 45-second clip of said reporter from CBS Sunday asking Bill about how him and his lady met. And she basically kind of shut that down from the side. So I'm assuming she was running the interview, which is all fine and good. Will you explain this to not only me, but to everyone else? Because I just wasn't interested in listening and seeing what this is about, because I have my own thoughts about this whole situation. You go.
Okay, so first of all, very important piece of context. This interview was done for CBS Sunday Morning.
Correct.
Which yours truly is a tremendous fan of.
Amazing. I watched it all the time when I was a kid.
And as you know, it is the most softball news programs that you can get in America.
Featurey, very just feel good type stuff.
It's all positive. This is not Dateline. This is not 60 Minutes. No. They're not prying. They're just trying to get a glimpse of who this person is. Bill Belichick, also context of his interview, has recently written a book. That's what he was there to promote at his high school, not even Chapel Hill, another weird thing to talk about, dressed in a Navy hoodie that had holes in it, not even UNC gear, another little factoid that I find interesting.
Okay.
And the reporter basically, I think the piece is 8 minutes long. For the first 5 minutes, they talk about Belichick's dad. They talk about the book. Belichick is very jovial. He's answering the questions. And then he gets to the two questions that I am shocked that Belichick and his crew, I'm guessing his girlfriend who's running the PR, was not prepared for. The first one being the fact that in this Belichick book, Robert Kraft is not mentioned at all.
Oh, really?
He is not even in the
book?
Not in the book. He is not even in the acknowledgments.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To which the reporter was like, this is a man that you spent 20 plus years with, had a tremendous amount of success. Why is he not in the book? You'd think that'd be question number one that you would prepare for.
Yeah.
Belichick turns into the old Belichick. He's basically like, well, it's about my life. To which the reporter said, but he's not in the acknowledgments. And like all these other people are in the acknowledgments. And
was Tom Brady in the acknowledgments?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it even worse. Oh, Lord. Okay.
So, and then Belichick just goes, yeah, you're right. That's correct. And that's how he answers that question. So then we move into and the reporter brings it up in a sort of very innocent kind of way, right? He talks about the fact that people in America are sort of infatuated with Belichick and Miss Hudson's relationship, given the age gap, given the celebrity nature of America, right? Mm-hmm. And then he asked the most innocuous question that you ask in any kind of, if you meet a work colleague for the first time, meet their partner, what's the first question you're going to ask, or the second?
How'd you meet?
That's all he asked. And then from the side, which they had a camera angle.
I saw that part.
She said, we're not talking about this.
Yeah.
Now, you and I both do a lot of these interviews.
Mm-hmm.
We know just from the production aspect of it, if someone keeps chiming in and killing the flow of the interview, it is going to make things very difficult.
That's true.
And I don't think CBS Sunday Morning had any kind of agenda going into it.
No.
But I think the producer of the said segment, as the interview was going on, and Jordan, as the reporter said, she kept interrupting, kept chiming in with things. They turned the camera toward her because they're like, this is going to be the story then. This is what we're going to run with. And again, this is a softball type news program. So the fact that they went with her interrupting and being cringy the way that they did means that she did this a bunch and did this to the point where it made them upset. Again, you don't get more cushy than CBS Sunday Mornings. I think the UNC program is cooked. I think they're done for. There was another TikTok clip of her like in high heels, sort of like directing part of the practice. Like she goes up to Bill, talks to him, goes back and talks to another administrator, and then gives like a thumbs up, like she's running the thing. She's got high heels on and a sequin jacket. If you are a Chapel Hill booster, you're done for. You're winning 4 games. This is not the Bill Belichick, the 6-time Super Bowl winning Belichick that you thought you got. This is a different guy completely. And if I was Belichick's kids, I would be very worried that I would be cut out of the wheel that I'm sure is probably out there.
There's so many ways to go with this. The first thing I want to do is go with the latter that you mentioned, regardless to the on-field product of what North Carolina and Chapel Hill will be this upcoming season in Bill Belichick's first season as head coach. If you just remove his personal life aside, in what world did you think that this was going to work in the first place?
Well, like we texted, I thought they were getting the Belichick coach. I didn't know that Jordan Hudson was shadow running the program as a 24-year-old.
We getting Belichick 2009. We getting Belichick the last 3 years we saw on TV. Which one we get? Which one did you think he was getting?
Well, I thought we would get maybe somewhere in the middle. I didn't know we were getting Belichick doing his.
P, how about this, P? The middle Belichick. What was that? 10-6, 8-8.
That's pretty good for UNC though, right?
You ain't paying that man and getting the cashier of Bill Belichick and hiring a GM that's getting a 1.5, Michael Lombardi and all that. If you ain't trying to win, Mac Brown was a perennial top 5 team. His first iteration at UNC before he took the Texas job. You wasn't trying to make a quote unquote splash with Bill Belichick for 8-8. You trying to go to the playoffs.
Another wrinkle about this, she is also listed in all his LLCs for his company, and she is being CC'd on all of the emails amongst the people that work inside the Chapel Hill Athletic Department. That's another little wrinkle about that.
So we discussed this when he got hired. I was like, this is not going to work. I don't know if it's not going to work or not. That man may go 11-0 this year. I don't know. Now, you got a heck of a building block. Because our own Giovanni Lopez, quarterback, used to play at James Clemens High School for those listening across the country, here in North Alabama, outstanding player, played his first couple of seasons in South Alabama, now transferred to UNC. Excellent young talent, could do a lot of things for that program. You just look at the proof in the pudding. What they do in the portal? I saw no movement in the portal. You showed me a picture, because you know I was going to call you out on this. You showed me a picture, first ever guy that they brought into the program from, was it Holy Cross or something?
Yeah, Division II, Division III, white lineman.
How they gonna work in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Well, now it seems a little messed up, given the fact that I think there's a 24-year-old shadow running the program. Now it's a little. It was cute when I thought it was Belichick, and I was rooting for him.
Why was it? Well, hold on. Once again, because we're gonna get to the personal side. In what world? What did you see in the last quarter of his tenure as a head coach for the New England Patriots, and what that looked like on the field would translate for him to say, Eureka! I want to get back to defensive coordinator Giants and head coach of the Cleveland Browns, young up. In college football that you ain't never coached in this climate and environment, you didn't see. Bro, you could pick your players with the New England Patriots. How'd it look? Y'all got Drake May. Y'all got a new coach. Y'all got all because of Bill. Thank you, Bill. It was all because of Bill. You wouldn't have Drake May if it weren't for Bill Belichick being the number 1 pick. What was Drake? Were they 3rd in the draft when he got drafted?
Yes.
Bad. relative to what we know the Patriots are for 15 plus years or a decade or so with Tom Brady and that amazing staff, amazing coaches, think about all the coordinators, think about the player personnel guys, all with an owner that is one of, if not the best in all of football.
They can't even get in the acknowledgments of a Belichick life book.
Make it make sense for me. Now, could be wrong. I wouldn't even be surprised if he leaves this summer. By August 1, he gone. Wouldn't be surprised. It's in his contract.
This August 1st?
This August the 1st.
Okay.
I believe there's a provision in his contract that he has until June something where he can walk away and both programs can walk away scot-free, be cool. And like everything, you can walk away. Now, reports say, sources say, those involved say that the athletic director for North Carolina, Bubba Cunningham, did not want Bill Belichick whatsoever. Had to be forced into it, allied with boosters and those around the program that make the moves within the program to hire him. But Bubba Cunningham didn't want him in the first place.
Now, do you think that Bubba might have known the type of baggage that would come with Bill? Because I think this Bill's personal relationship is a huge part of the story now going forward.
It's a huge part. It's going to be when you have like her on letterheads and stuff. I'm assuming, I don't know this young lady. I don't know from Adam. I'm just saying, like, we see what the world saw it on Sunday. You are seeing her at practice and all. I think Bubba Cunningham, take that out of the equation. See, that's just an added part of an additive to it all. I'm just talking about just Bill Belichick as a football coach coming to college football. All of the things around him being a coach of college football coming into spring, I just didn't see it. Now, if you tell me they're a dumpster fire and then things are reevaluated, he gets his sea legs and going into 27, the 26th fall of 2026, that this thing looks better and, you know, you can see him kind of making inroads and make it, you got me. I just find it hard to believe that he is going to be able to sustain this. I just never bought into it. You've never done it before. Like, I just, and the last handful of years that I saw you as a head coach, brother, it wasn't good. I don't know if y'all been watching, y'all watch. Y'all saw that on the sideline. Man, that cat had defensive coordinators and stuff that were by defensive coordinators by trade calling plays. I can't make this up. This is just real live action TV. We saw this. So I find it hard to believe that he was going to be able to even remotely try to translate from what we've seen. Our sample size was too large of terrible football to be able to see that translate into being a winning product in North Carolina, especially in year one. I would be the first to say, hey, man, you got me. I'm shocked. I just don't know what this looks like, and it just does not bode well. Now you add to the fact that you have some personal issues and personal life getting involved, it makes it even that much worse, which leads me into the personal life. Can I play a little doctor for a minute?
You are very good at playing Dr.
I'm
Love.
pretty good at that. Very good at that. Look at this camera. Get low on my voice. Love make you do some crazy things. Real crazy. Pat, can I test? Can you test this? Can I get amen?
Amen.
Make you do things you ain't never done before in your life as far as your daily normal operations of life. You get married, fall in love, you're a teen, you folding clothes, you ain't never done that before. You out here wiping off countertops. You out here picking out the finest chemical solvent to make sure that your surfaces are clean in the kitchen. Make sure your grass and stuff is manicured. You want everything pristine, all for your significant other. That's what love does. Here I am in my 70s. How old is this young lady?
She is 24 years of age.
You think they reading the Wall Street Journal together?
I do not believe they're doing that.
Think they talking about the world as is as far as just politics and how just the daily landscape of what we know as the world.
I do not.
Sharing a cup of coffee together in the morning time before they get their day going.
They might be doing that, maybe. They're also doing yoga poses on the beach and dressing up for Halloween costumes.
Y'all saw that yoga pose? I didn't do it. Y'all saw that. Let's just be real with ourselves, America. What y'all think this is? What y'all think? What y'all really think this is? I ain't trying to pry into Bill's relationship, personal life. I'm just worried about the man known as a football coach. Put the man in love. Love can blind you, man. There's an old singer near and dear to my heart. My daddy listens to him all the time. His name was Joe Simon. He said he's drowning in the sea of love. You see that meme with that man with that thumbs up? He goes down into the water like that. I saw Terminator. Terminator, he died. He got into the lava. He just did his thumb, went all the way down. That's where we at. So I don't know why we are all surprised, shocked, can't believe. This is what it is. Love make you do some crazy things, dog. He just in it.
Is this love or is this lust? As some folks would want to say.
We putting the love and the lust, we put it all in Lake Minnetonka. We put it all up in there, just all of it in there together. He drowning. I didn't say there isn't. Ain't no life raft. Ain't no Baywatch, that red thing they used to carry. They used to run on Baywatch. You kids, y'all need to look up Baywatch. They used to throw these things in there to save lifeguards. They still got those on the beach and
I'm
stuff.
sure they do, yeah.
Bill just out there. Yeah. Now you trying to marry him, trying to just put a football product together. I'm going to let y'all figure out how this going to end. There is a significant other that is entrenched in every facet from what it seems, from what you're telling me.
I mean, these are reports. It was also reported just this morning, The Athletic reported, remember North Carolina was supposed to be on Hard Knocks this season because no NFL team would do it.
Correct.
Jordan is the one that shut it down, Jordan Hudson. She's the one responsible for nixing the docuseries. That was reported by reputable outlets this morning. I believe her last name is Hudson.
Love will make you do some crazy things. Crazy, crazy things. My man, Coach Belichick, you drowning in the sea of love. Joe Simon said it quite eloquently. You've been there. I've been there. Youngsters, as y'all grew up, you'll be there. Make you do some crazy things. I got, allegedly, once again, I'm just listening to you because I'm just worried about Belichick, the football coach. You telling me she is taking over an interview, she at practice, she writing responses on North Carolina official letterheads. Man out there doing poses on the beach with the yoga poses. And y'all gonna have me believe that North Carolina football gonna be, in the words of many a youngster in years past and long and far in lands far, far away. Where they do that at? Where they do that at?
Well, this is a new era of college football. Maybe they're ushering in something new.
We ain't seen this new era. Well, we ain't seen that. Love will make you do some crazy things. Patrick, you done done some crazy things for love.
I have.
Just to swing your hand with your significant other, just hold a hand.
But there is not almost, I guess, over 50-year age difference between me and my wife. I'm talking 50 years. That's a long time. She's like, wasn't like, what do they even talk about? That's what I want to know. I guess probably they're not doing a lot. To your point, they're probably not doing a lot of talking. Oh, yes.
Not a you know what thing. They ain't doing a lot of talking. It's family show. Ain't doing a lot of talking.
But if this was your dad, you would be worried, right? If your dad was a wealthy guy and he was running around with a 24-year-old, and let's say he was not in good health, you would be like, in the next 6 months, I'm getting cut out of everything.
As the elders used to tell our parents back in the day, when you are, quote unquote, courting a young person or in love, what they normally used to say back, you've heard this, you probably heard this. Somebody will shake their head while they driving or on their iPods or whatever it is and bust out laughing when you're on the treadmill. Old folks used to say, what intentions do you have with my daughter? What intentions do you have with my son? I'm just going to let y'all answer that question for yourselves. Young lady, don't know you. I want y'all to thrive because I don't care anything. You do you. I don't care. What did it look like on the surface to you? What intentions do you have with Coach Belichick.
I mean, listen, maybe she has read up on spread offenses, maybe nickel defenses.
Absolutely.
Maybe
exactly
she's
right.
a football genius. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Not doubtful, but
What if they go 11-0?
She's got to be the reason. She's got to be up on the podium.
And behind the scenes, he looks like he says, "See, and she got this whiteboard. She out here running air raid and know what to do."
She was the one that got Gio Lopez.
And what
She was the one in the portal.
She
She recruited it. Yeah, we don't know. We have no idea.
I'm gonna leave that to you because see, you petty. See, yeah, you want to throw that. I want to talk about Gorillas 100 Men. You want to talk about E Entertainment News and TMZ.
It became a story. It's the greatest NFL coach of all time. Is now basically, yeah, like you said, going into a TMZ story. It's the most obvious cliche thing ever. It's just this man. I blink twice if you're okay, Bill. That's all I'll say. Blink twice.
They may go 11-0, P dog. They legitimately may go. May go. I don't know.
They're at the college football playoff, and she just has a clipboard.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like if they win the league, they win 9 games.
That would be the story in college football.
This does not feel like it's going to go well.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, it does not feel. We have seen this story once or twice before.
Okay, so we from Gorillas and 100 Men to E Entertainment News to actually the product on the field potentially for 262 men and then a lot of non-drafted free agents that were able to be a part of a franchise. The NFL draft happened, of course. No matter where we get around it, no one pick was Cam Ward, but we know the story was Shedeur Sanders. Before we end with Shedeur, great to see Cam very businesslike in his arrival to Green Bay.
Very humble as he immediately got overshadowed, the most overshadowed number 1 pick of all time.
I am 42 years old. I have watched NFL drafts since I was in grade school, and I don't remember any year ever that sticks out to me that have topped what we were able to witness last Thursday. Cam Ward gets drafted as the number 1 overall pick, and in a matter of 2 minutes after, it was on to the next. They immediately
were like, and Adam Schefter here with the monster trade in the top 5.
Correct. That was it. And I don't even believe during the telecast, wherever you watched it, I don't even believe they even went back to Cam Ward. I think it was just over.
They just went.
That adds fuel to your Tennessee Titans fire.
I told you, listen, that's okay. We'll just stay humble. We'll keep our nose to the grindstone. Cam Ward is a worker. I love the reports that were coming out of the draft that this dude was so glued in as the Titans were making these picks that he was texting the players they were picking as they were still on the phone with the front office. He was even texting Mike Borgonzi about draft picks coming up. This Tennessee organization is all in on Cam Ward, and yours truly is also all in. I've told you we're winning 10 games this year.
Oh, my gosh.
And I have a proposal for you. I have a ticket to our bandwagon, okay? I will reserve you a seat on the bandwagon that is coming in October when we are 5-2 at the end of October. Cam Ward looks like $1 million. You can sit right beside me first class on the Tennessee Titans bandwagon. Do you say yes or yes? What do you say?
I got 2 words. For what?
This bandwagon will get crowded quick, okay? So you got to make a decision. Obviously, it sounds like that's a no. That's okay. We don't need it. Stay humble. Stay hard.
For those listening or watching this video, proud fan of a team from the West Coast. Proud of the greater San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Clara area, the San Francisco 49ers. I'm good. I'll pass.
That's okay.
10 wins, huh?
That offer will still be there. 10 wins. I'm not backing down. I'm not backing. People are like, oh, you should be realistic. No, I am being realistic. I'm being very realistic. 10 wins for the Cam Ward-led Tennessee Titans. This dude, you know who he reminds me of? We talked about this. Steve McNair, number 9. Cam Ward reminds me of the feeling I had as a youngin' watching Steve McNair, Air McNair, rolling around LP Field.
Do we even know if he's going to be even as clutch as Vince Young?
Yes. Yes.
Y'all act like, wait.
Now, I love Vince Young.
You act like Vince Young. Hold on. So that means that to even top Vince Young, he's got to win at least 8 as
Correct.
a full first-year starter, and he's got to be the rookie of the year on offense.
Correct. Both of which those things will happen.
The next year, they go 13-3, and I believe had Vince not had his issues, they probably would have went to the Super Bowl with him. A Kerry Collins-led program. I was with that franchise once a week for 2 years and saw that 13. They probably go to the Super Bowl. So forget Steve McNair, because Steve McNair didn't play for 3 years. I'm saying I'm looking at just the barometer of one Vince Young. So it's got to be at least 8. He's got to be rookie of the year. And the next year, he's got to jump from 8 to 13.
I will go on this limb. I do not care at this point. I told you I'm sold on this guy. We are about to witness the start of what will be the greatest Tennessee Titans career of all time with now number 1, Cam Ward. I told you the jersey's pre-ordered. I ain't got it yet because I ain't printed them yet. Warren Moon done gave his blessing. Your boy had it in the cart, locked up after what time draft start? 7 o'clock?
7:02.
7:02. That thing was
in
bought.
there.
In there.
You know we're gonna go to camp. We're gonna do our show from camp.
I would love to.
Summer. We'll do it. We're gonna go there. I'm gonna talk to the good folks there. They're amazing. They helped raise a wee lad back in the early part of this business when I was working in that area. But yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go there. We're gonna let you be able to take it all in. Fingers crossed, have an opportunity. We'll hear from Cam and get to talk to him and all that good stuff. But 10 wins, huh?
10 wins.
Here's the one pick.
The ticket is open. You don't have to make a decision now. I know you did.
Yeah,
but the ticket to the bandwagon's there.
I'm good. Because I want to see, because, once again, I'm an amazing picker of NFL games and what teams are going to do. All I want to do is just see the schedule. May 17th when it comes out, I want to see, because the teams are going to be at home, teams are going to be away, but we want to see the full schedule. I'll tell you what they're going to do. Didn't I do it last year? Didn't I tell you from start to Millie, how many games I tell you they were going to win?
I believe
on the nose.
You said 3 and you hit it.
I'll tell you when the schedule is released. Now here's what I will say. First of all, I think Cam Ward, yes, if I look back 5 years from now and Cam Ward's one of the 7 best quarterbacks in football, it would not surprise me. However, also wouldn't be surprised me if you're looking for another quarterback in 24 months.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying, ain't no middle ground. It's either this, it's
probably
lottery ticket or bust.
We could be looking for another coach in 24 months. We could be looking for another coach in November.
That's fair too. I would put a little equity in Cam Ward. I've said that. He has a lot. We know.
How much stock are you buying in Cam Ward?
60%.
Okay. I'll take the other 40 to make mine 140% of Cam Ward.
Yeah, I'll take 60%. All I want, my only thing with Cam, because the proof is in the pudding. The man has won everywhere. I just want him to once again see what, and it may not even be this coaching staff, Patrick, because you're exactly right. Only thing I know, Cam is a great teammate. I know he works hard. He has otherworldly talent. He has all of the tools necessary to be an elite quarterback in this league. But some of those things that made you elite as your playmaking ability can also run you into some serious problems. All I want to do is just see how your coaching staff confines him to playing in the scheme and within the balance of an offense. And there's a lot of things they can do and have a toy to be able to make that work. I will say this. If I had Cam Ward on the football team last year instead of Will Levis, they ain't winning no 3 games. You're going to be competitive in just solely because of some things that I believe in the realm of the offense that was asked for Will that Cam would hit on a consistent basis, right?
Yeah.
I think we all can say that Will has a stronger arm than Cam. I think Will has one of the strongest arms in the National Football League. But it's just the decision making there and in the confines of an NFL offense that can potentially make this work. Look, you can't get any better than that. Now, I've told you this, I love Shedeur Sanders. I thought Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft. But I'm not knocking Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward and I think some other guys that are going to be quality, serviceable backups and or serviceable and solid starters as well. Real quick, one thing I do want to say about your draft, I made a bold prediction a couple of weeks ago. We were discussing the wide receivers. And I believe when we look back in this whole totality of this draft 5 years from now, we're going to look back and see 8 to 9 guys that are going to be impactful wide receivers that are franchise type guys. I think you got that many. And strangely enough, I think you have one of them.
See, there we go.
Because I love Eric. Like I've loved him.
Against Travis Hunter, they showed the clips.
Correct. I watched that entire game. I watched them when they played at Syracuse this year. Love everything about that kid. For longtime Tennessee Titans fans, he reminds you of some of your better wide receivers that you've had. May not be the fastest, may not be the tallest, may not be the strongest, but he's reliable. Derek Mason-esque type. And I think that he's going to be in that franchise and have multiple contracts. And if you tell about somebody that could potentially be in the quote-unquote whatever, I don't know what you all do for your retirees, Ring of Honor or whatever.
The Ring of Honor, Mm-hmm.
I think Eric, the wide receiver from Stanford, has an opportunity to do that. So I love those 2 picks as well. 49ers loved every pick that they made. We mentioned it about Mykel Williams. He's either going to be big boom or big bust. I said the only thing relative to his production that he did not have at Georgia per se, as he battled a crazy ankle injury all year, is that Coach Kiersek on the defensive line there, if anyone can get that out of him and his impactfulness potentially on the opposite end of Nick Bosa, it can be him. CJ West, big guy up front for Indiana. I think he's a space eater, much like the young man from Texas. So you could tell we're about to make Brock Purdy one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the history of football here in the next 2 to 3 months. Not we, Carl. The 49ers.
You can say we.
Yeah.
This is a we podcast. We say we.
It's just fandom. But you get rid of a lot of defensive guys. You're going to get a lot of defensive guys as rookies on rookie contracts for a long time that can be impactful, and then you'll have to pay them, and you do this cycle over and over again. But Robert Saleh is back. He needs fast, physical dogs across the board that bring an edge that he brought en route to a Super Bowl appearance in 19 that parlayed him into getting the job with the New York Jets. So very pleased with them. Is there anyone else that you think had an outstanding draft? I got one, and they hoisted the Lombardi. I don't know. Look, they the best franchise in football. We just, like, if anyone else done, as a 49er, I believe prior to the last 2 seasons, we had the best franchise in football from owner, GM, player personnel, guys, and roster. But no, the Philadelphia Eagles, good luck. And the sad part about it, Patrick, you know this, the Commanders and everybody in the division, like those are quality teams that we put in other divisions. They probably would either, if not win the division, they're definitely going to the playoffs. What are you going to do with that roster?
I told you last week in the podcast, Jahad Campbell was going to go late first round to a very good team.
Hell, I didn't think he was going to go there.
And bet on him for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is going to be all over the place. He's Zach Bond, but a better version of that. Yeah. And Zach Bond was a defensive MVP finalist, Defensive Player of the Year finalist last year.
Yeah.
Jahad Campbell going 31 is damn near criminal. And that dude's going to be flying around. I don't care about the shoulders. I don't care about the other injury concerns. He's going to be just fine.
Just the value.
And he is going to be in the middle of that Philadelphia defense for a decade plus. Another Alabama player I really liked that I thought was going to be a stud, Tyler Booker, going to the Cowboys. They replaced one guard in Zach Martin with, you don't want to put gold jackets on these guys too early, but if there is another type of lineman in this draft that could potentially find himself in Canton one day, it is Tyler Booker. I think he's that special of a player, just a road grader, run blocker. Excellent pickup for Alabama, or for the Dallas Cowboys. Another player in the SEC that I really like, we talked about him on the podcast last year, Jarquez Hunter going to the Rams. I think he has the potential this year to make a big-time impact. If Week 8 rolls around and Jarquez Hunter has a 20-plus carry game for 120 yards, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I love Jarquez Hunter, man.
Perfect scenario for him. And Sean McVay talked him up. I don't know if you could see anything.
I did not.
He talked him up. Was surprised he was there.
Just your knee-jerk reaction. How does that work with Kyron Williams? We know Kyron. I have a ton of affinity for Kyron. I may have a rooting interest for the team in South Bend in college football. Played there. Has been highly productive, but has been nicked.
Has been injury concerns.
And Jarquez, I've never seen him hurt.
Right.
So, I mean,
Kyron was an undrafted guy.
That's very true.
So the potential.
Good call. I forgot about that.
The potential, just from a scouting aspect, was not there. And Jarquez going in the 4th round, this was a very deep running back class. And I think a lot of these running backs went probably later than they should have, because a lot of teams were just like, well, if I miss out on this dude, we'll get somebody in later rounds. So I think a lot of these dudes kind of got put down maybe a round or two. I don't think Jarquez could have easily been a second or third round pick.
Has this been one of the I have to be. I was very impressed with just overall the draft, literally 1 through 7. That I just kind of watched. I didn't watch the later rounds. Just watched guys here and there, and I'll kind of go through a look. But relative to Patrick, the entire draft and all of the draftable prospects, and even the undrafted free, man, this was a very deep and quality. This was a great draft for just impactful guys per se. Maybe not have as many as those impactful guys, because I think impactful, I'm thinking like a Travis Hunter. I'm thinking of somebody like a Cam Ward. But then the other part about it is the quality of said players, the value is what I would like to say. It's probably one of the better ones I've seen in a long time.
If you needed an offensive lineman, particularly in the interior, if you needed a pass rusher, and if you needed a running back or a tight end, this draft was chock full of them. And you probably should have found yourself, if you were looking for that, you probably found a dude who's going to start for your team for a long time. I think a lot of these dudes, I think, are going to be really, really good.
We'll end on this. Obviously, everyone has been discussing Shedeur Sanders for many a day after the draft, and his free fall to, as we like to say, the from what many consider as being maybe being the number 1 overall pick at one time, in the first round, out of the first round, and eventually getting drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. Your thoughts initially on this? This is going to be the last time I even discuss this, because the young man is now in the NFL. And I think that whether it's going to be in Cleveland as the starter, he's going to still have yet another opportunity to be with another team before we decide what this eventually ends up as.
So I told you that Jackson Dart was probably going to go ahead of Shedeur.
You did.
I think just a lot of teams would fall in love, and they did.
You did.
We also talked about how unfairly I think Shedeur has been treated in some aspects of this draft thing. When you have stories like him padding the football, I can't remember. Like you talked about Cam Ward being overshadowed, and can't remember that. I can't remember another prospect being this highly sort of controversial as Shedeur was. It seemed like there were moments that were being manufactured to kind of take this kid down a peg.
Yeah.
I think talent-wise on the field, you cannot convince me that this dude's not a first-round talent.
Correct.
So then we have to get into, okay, what are the other aspects of it? Is it the influence of his father in there and Coach Prime? I think there were some people that had some really bad takes about that this weekend. I didn't see anything that Dion has done in his kid's life that a guy like Arch Manning or any of these other wealthy, just call it what it is, white dads have not done with their sons. You want to call it nepotism? Sure, but there's nepotism out throughout all of American society, right? It just, I guess people feel a certain type of way when it's a certain type of person doing that, right? Suffice to say. So then we have to get to the fact of what I think actually was happening here. And I think this was the NFL collectively saying to Shedeur, you are not going to thumb your nose at this process. Correct. We heard the fact that he tanked a lot of these interviews, and we hear it time and time again from the NFL. No one is bigger than the Shield, right? We suspended Tom Brady for 6 games for some stuff that we didn't think he was doing. So you are not going to come into us as a guy who, yes, you are talented at the collegiate level, but you are unproven to all of us. And you're not going to come in here and be disrespectful or tank these things on purpose, or you will pay for it. And I think that's all it is, because production-wise, you cannot convince me talent-wise, Dylan Gabriel or Tyler Shook or any of these dudes, even Jalen Milroe, are a better prospect than Shedeur Sanders. I watched too much football. I saw it on the field.
I think a myriad of things can be true at one time. Even worst case scenario, if you decided to want to make him a 3rd-round draft pick, fine. But then the flip side to that is, what's really the difference between a 3rd-round prospect and a 5th-round prospect, right? So wherever you got drafted, you're basically a guy that's going to be having to try to make the team. Now, the only difference is obviously your first 4 rounds, you're guaranteed a contract. Shedeur's probably going to get guaranteed something unless they cut him as you get into the year. But I think the biggest misconception that really has always bothered me with this is that you can be successful in a myriad of ways. But I also understand when you're within an organization, said organization maybe wants you to do things the way that they want you to do them. Doesn't make it right. You're not going to tell me that feelings didn't get. I heard Louis Riddick, who we see on ESPN and stuff, was a scout in front offices, the Eagles, the whole night. He said it. I know, I've been in rooms. Guys don't like feelings get involved. Guys don't like somebody and want to bring him down a notch or say, oh, well, we'll do this. This is what this is about. Let's just be real. Like, why are we dancing around this? There's no one in their right mind. If you take us back 12 months, they did not think Shedeur Sanders was going to be in the top 10, especially with a franchise they needed a quarterback.
And especially with this draft class at quarterback being as weak as it is. And like you said, teams, especially like the Saints and the Steelers, that seemingly, I guess, for at least from the outside looking in, have no plan at quarterback this season. Like, unless the Steelers plan on trotting out Mason Rudolph, and unless the Saints plan on trotting out Spencer Rattler or making a trade, they have no, what I guess fans would call viable options at the quarterback position heading into the 2025 season.
Knee-jerk reaction. Shedeur Sanders, does he make the Cleveland Browns roster?
Yes.
Knee-jerk reaction, is he starting sometime this year?
Yes, middle of the season. I think it's going to be impossible to not have this guy start.
I think he's going to be the starter, and I think he's going to be an all-pro. I've said it, and I will die on that hill until he proves it otherwise. I think Shedeur Sanders is about football. I think that people look at the ambiance of all of the things that involve and entail him, and obviously some things that he'll go back and think to himself, maybe I could have done this, maybe I could have done this right or wrong. But the one thing I've always appreciated about him, Deion Sanders, be who you are, and you've had to be in the confines. You have to be in the confines of the National Football League and the Shield. That's a great point that you made about Tom Brady. I never even thought about that until you said it. Man, they suspended the franchise of all franchise guys, the face of the league for 6 games for some footballs that were deflated. Sat him down.
Yeah.
6 games.
And mostly because of the fact that he did not cooperate with the investigation.
Right? They said, "Oh, you don't want to cooperate? You're not bigger than this."
Yeah.
So, right, wrong, or indifferent, we all have, human nature has us believe that there was some funny business going on in these organizations, whether he wasn't prepared for what was going on in some of these meetings, you blowing up. And then one more thing I do want to mention about Shedeur blowing off some of these teams. If you are a fan of the National Football League, you've seen a prospect that's going to be drafted in the top 10 that don't even talk to the rest of the teams because they know they're not going to get picked. This is nothing new.
Well, another thing that kind of struck me is character concerns that grew up about this guy. And
you can miss me with that.
And I will just say there are prospects in the not too distant past whose actions have led directly to the death of other people that still went in the top 10.
Now, if you want to tell me that the talent over supersedes the character issues, you got me. Because there's a lot of unbelievably talent. Put it this way. I truly believe if Shedeur Sanders had the talent and the tape of one Caleb Williams, he's going 1 overall. Even in the midst of all of that. So once again, 2 things can be true at once, but those said 2 things that are true doesn't make it always right either. And unfortunately, it's the way of the world. It's part of business. Listen, the guys in the National Football League now, there are going to be more cameras in Cleveland, Ohio than ever before for camp, mini camp, and the whole 9. Part of it is never going to change in the NFL, but he's in there. I want Shedeur Sanders. I hope, much like any other court, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco at his stage of his career, Kenny Pickett. I don't care who you are, Deshaun Watson somewhere. Play football. I want you to do your very, very best. Any man that got drafted or undrafted. But now it's up, Shedeur has to put his best foot forward. And it's going to be tough because of the reps, how they decide this. But I just truly believe, I find it hard to believe that he is not going to thrive in the National Football League and go to, and arguably, ironically enough, probably went to the best situation for him. I think he's going to be a starter. And I think when we look back heading into fall camp of 2026, he'll be the entrenched starter and be the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
I think so as well. I think also with the 2 quarterbacks in this draft being Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, these are the first 2 real NIL quarterbacks are here in the NFL, right? Because with Cam Ward probably doesn't make it to the NFL.
Correct.
If the NIL is not in place because he doesn't get to transfer.
You're right.
Like there was the story, he tried to come out last year, but was given a 5th round grade. So he goes back to school, goes to Miami.
Yep.
And then on the flip side with Shedeur, you get the superstar college athlete. Cameras are around me. I got my podcast. By the way, no one mentions the fact that Travis Hunter also has a podcast and was on NFL Row, and no one said anything about that. That was never brought up in his concerns.
And Patrick, quick caveat. He has a huge streaming following, plays video games, loves to fish. But it goes back to us what we were just discussing. And we're not saying this. 2 things can't be true at once. if some of these rumors started coming out with Travis Hunter relative to what Shedeur Sanders had endured or what it went through, he's still going to get picked first or second. You don't have franchises moving up to go get it because I don't know if there's any more surefire thing than him in the entire draft. We've been saying that since the season started. So, no, I believe that your talent can supersede any character issues or any issues that you have because talent decides everything in the National Football League. We know that because of some of the character issues that players have had since the start of this league. So I believe there's a middle ground for both, but we can't act like the talent wasn't there for him to be warranted as a first round pick and then say he's a 5th round pick because of some of the character. They don't match.
And that's what kind of irritated me is that after day one, there was a lot of reports of like, oh, teams don't see him as a starter, so he's a backup. That's why he's falling. Then he goes out of the 2nd round. Then you start seeing guys like Tyler Shook and Dylan Gabriel that go before him. And then they can't justify the fact that Dylan Gabriel is more talented than Shedeur Sanders. So then it turns into the character concerns and the sort of lackadaisical and disrespectful interviews and process that he had leading into this. That became a story. But they kept shifting the goalpost when really this was just 32 guys or 32 teams in their front offices being like, we're not giving you anything, and how dare you come in and act like this is who you are and sort of be disrespectful in these interviews. We heard about what allegedly is the Brian Daboll and the New York Giants, where them two got into a little screaming match, verbal altercation going back and forth with each other during their pre-draft. So I think this all it was, but again, the moving of the goalpost was what was kind of irritating for me watching it.
I wholeheartedly agree, for sure. Well, listen, we've talked a ton. Listen, this is probably going to be our best podcast ever, just because, like I said,
a lot of gorilla talk.
These fools out here think 100 people going to beat a gorilla. Pat, you got to be ashamed of yourself. 100 men going to defeat a silverback gorilla. What? No chance.
I think not with these, because like I said, they have 5 or 7.
They gone.
Probably more gone.
They gone out there. Thoughts and prayers.
But they're beating them. Yeah, they're beating them for sure.
Like, subscribe to our Take After Take podcast. We do it each and every week. We have this live ready to go on Apple or any podcast where podcasts are available on Thursday mornings. We appreciate that. We'll, as I mentioned, we got a lot of really cool stuff as we head into what we like to say the off season in the summer before we get ready for college football. Some exciting news to share with you all here in the coming months. Once again, like, subscribe, comment. Your thoughts on the podcast is available on our 48 Sports Zone app as well. If you want to take that on the go, we truly appreciate you if you were able to download that. And then, of course, our podcast is available each and every Thursday. For producer Pat, I'm Carl Prather. Gorilla gonna win every day, y'all. He thinks 100 people gonna win. Y'all decide. We're gonna keep talking about this. We're gonna get a zoologist on here, I promise. No doubt, to discuss this. Take After Take. We'll see you back here next week.